How is the reality of your freshman season playing out compared to your expectations before you arrived?
It's a lot like what I expected, to be honest. Coming into the year, I give credit to my parents just on my mindset coming into the season. They kind of told me not to expect anything, kind of go in there and just work hard, do what you need to do every day in practice to make your team better, and make yourself better. So, knowing that and having that mindset going into the season, just not to expect anything and just work hard for the team. I mean, the workouts, the practices, the season is kind of what I expected.
And putting basketball aside, campus life, living in a dorm, being away from home, all that, riding the MTD, what's it like?
Yeah, it's a lot different. Obviously, you don't see your family every day, don't get to see your friends, all that stuff. The lifestyle is just different. You don't have your parents helping you out with things and just being able to talk to them every day. But having great teammates and great friends like Pods and RJ, who I live with, it kind of makes life here easy. I mean, the teammates that I get to hang out with every day, they make it really enjoyable. And I don't miss home as much when I'm with those guys.
All right, thanks.
Hey, good morning, Luke. Coach was just speaking about some of the leadership traits that you've exhibited so far. How does that feel to you to have your coach have that type of confidence in you at this stage of your career?
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot whenever you get any type of leadership role on any team, no matter how old you are, no matter what position you're in. It means that you got trust from not only your coaches, but your guys. If your coach can put trust in you and faith in you, then they know that the teammates on the team kind of look to you that way as well. So just having that responsibility and kind of that role already as a freshman, it means a lot to me. I take pride in that, and I'm glad that I can help my team in any way possible.
Thank you.
Hey, Luke, on a team like this with all of these veterans and fifth year guys, how did you find your voice? It just seems to me like it would maybe be a big step for a freshman, just seeing what's around them to kind of find the voice that you found.
Yeah, I mean, another thing my parents told me to go in was to stay in your lane. Growing up, I always played football. I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with that, and I was always the quarterback. So having that leadership, those leadership qualities already before coming in, that's something that I tried to bring to Illinois. People always tell me that I'm a pretty good leader, so I try and bring that to wherever I am. Try and lead the guys as much as possible, and do my role in that sense. And I think that's something that I'll continue to try to do, and just be that teammate for the guys to my left and right.
Have some of those veterans helped you amplify that? I mean, it just seems like Kofi seems really willing to let you speak and be kind of in that role. Has that helped at all?
Yeah, for sure. When you get confidence from your teammates like that, especially Kofi and Trent, the guys that have been here for a long time, DeMonte, it means a lot. And another guy that's really helped me with that is Coach Frazier. He kind of told me one day, he's pulled me aside and was like, just step up. Coach Fletch too. They're just like, step up, just be that guy. It doesn't matter how old you are. You got enough respect from your teammates and stuff like that. So just be that guy that can step up and kind of be in that leadership role as well.
Thanks, Luke. Appreciate it.
Hey, Luke, when you talk about being a quarterback, what kind of quarterback were you? Were you a four-year varsity? Were you starter? Were you scrambler, runner, thrower? What kind of quarterback was Luke Goode?
Well, I started my sophomore and junior year. I didn't play my senior year because I was already committed and I didn't want to get hurt and stuff like that. But I did not run. I stayed in the pocket and threw the ball. Did not like to get hit very much. So that was kind of my mantra.
How do those football traits help? I mean, the huddle, the leadership, it's just it came natural to you, or football that allowed it to grow?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. I would say my leadership definitely derived from football. Being the quarterback, you're obviously the leader of the team, got to lead the whole offense and stuff like that. But another thing that I really attribute to football is kind of my toughness. I really try and play with toughness out there. Don't really let anybody try and out tough me on the court. And that's something that I attribute to football, being in practice every day, getting hit and stuff like that. I think it definitely translates. And then another thing is, this is kind of what I tell people: as a quarterback, you have to have good footwork. So I think that kind of translates as well from my quarterback game, knowing the drops and stuff like that, to being able to play defense, move my feet, all this stuff like that. So I think being a two-sport athlete in high school, regardless if it's football or not, will attribute to a lot of good things in the sport that you're focusing on at the next level.
I asked you earlier, I'm from Peoria, where Matt Roth is kind of a legend.
Oh, yeah.
You worked with Matt a lot. What was your role with Matt, your relationship, and then how much has he helped you adjust to Big Ten basketball?
Yeah, Matt is one of my biggest mentors growing up. I've been working out with him, doing workouts with him since, I think, 8th grade year now. So having a mentor like that and somebody look up to like that, it's been huge. I mean, he kind of went through the same path as me, grew up in Illinois, actually went to an Indiana school, so we kind of flip-flop there, but a lot of people could see his game in me a little bit. Shooter likes to shoot the ball, so just being able to relay information from him, get some advice from him, and just being able to kind of see what he did growing up, being able to watch him, and then after that, learning from him. It was definitely a cool thing, and he's been nothing but great to me. So I'm blessed to have him out in my life in that role.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, Luke. You obviously grew up a pretty big college basketball fan, so I'm curious about how much you know about going into Carver Hawkeye Arena and how difficult it can be to go into that place and come out with a win.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great program this year. They got a really good team, obviously, and Coach McCaffrey's a great coach. So going in there, I think Coach Underwood said he hasn't won in there yet since he's gotten the job. So that's something that we take personally, and our team's ready for the challenge.
And then when you kind of go in there as a freshman, obviously it's your first road Big Ten game, but have you been at any other Big Ten arenas to see what an environment's like for an opposing team that's coming in trying to get a win?
Yeah, I've taken, obviously during my recruitment period, I've taken plenty of visits to other Big Ten schools, and the environment is electric. It's crazy. All the Big Ten teams really care about their schools, and that's one of the reasons why I picked Illinois too, because the Big Ten is such a basketball focused conference for the most part. And all the games that I went to, regardless if it was Illinois or not, it was just the passion for the fans and everything. And obviously when we go to another stadium, other arenas, it's going to be the same for that. So I just know that the Big Ten schools really care about their basketball, and the environment is going to be crazy tomorrow. So
Thanks, Luke.
Yep.
Luke, I wanted to just ask you about your back and the spasms that you were dealing with in Kansas City. And do you feel like you've kind of crossed the threshold and gotten through that, or is it something you may have to just constantly deal with throughout this year?
Yeah, I'm blessed with a lot of great people around me that can help me out. I had a little bit of an issue with back spasms. Since then, it's been great. I know, obviously, I played in the last few games against UTRGV and then now against Rutgers, but it feels great. Back's almost 100%, and I'm ready to keep going.
Was it something you've dealt with before you got here, or was that a new one and you had to figure out how to play, through that?
No, this was something new. We just attributed it to a lot of just wear and tear on the body. Obviously, going from high school to college, it's a big difference in workload. So I think that's something that attributed to it. But other than that, I mean, it's something new, but it's not something that'll hold me out or keep me away from playing basketball, which you guys have seen. So
thanks, Luke. Appreciate it.
Luke, I'm curious, what's your relationship with Coach Underwood? Because I know the Rutgers game, I think you took a shot maybe he wasn't thrilled with, but then in the next time out, I think you got him laughing. So it seems to be a good balance there.
Yeah, I respect Coach Underwood with the utmost respect. Obviously, he's in my opinion, one of the best coaches in the country, if not the best. And anything that he says, obviously, I listen to. I take to heart. I take pride in being a very coachable kid. So whatever he says, I really try and take that to heart. So after a shot like that, and look back on it, and you're like, why'd you do that, Luke? But he just kind of explained to me and taught me like time and situation in the game and kind of what I need to do and stuff like that. And, me understanding obviously what I need to do. So him just saying that, and then me being able to retain that information and kind of say something back. It's all just out of respect.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Luke, a lot of people have commented you don't look like a freshman when you're out there with your poise and just the trust you have from your teammates. What would you attribute that to, that you've been able to, fill right in and look the part early on?
Yeah, I'd say one of the biggest things that I tried to focus on before getting to Illinois and right when I got here was transforming my body. I knew being kind of 6'7", 6'6", being on the wing spot. In the Big Ten, there's big wings, and at any conference really, but especially in the Big Ten, there's big wings, big strong guys. So I knew that I needed to change my body and get ready for the competition in that sense. So that's something that I really focused on. Shout out to Coach Fletch. Obviously, you guys know he's one of the best in the business, and he did a great job with that. But also just a mindset. I feel like college basketball is just such a mindset. If you go into it knowing your role, knowing what you need to do for the team, and kind of where you need to be at as a player, I think that's a huge thing. And then just the confidence as well. Being a freshman, it's easy to get down on yourself. You make one mistake and you have a shorter leash than a lot of people, which is obvious for many reasons. But just having that confidence to come in every day and just know that your teammates trust you and your coach trusts you. I think that's a huge thing that attributes to being a freshman.
And you mentioned your toughness. You had that tie up against Notre Dame. I think Orange Crush in particular really appreciated that. What was that like to experience?
Yeah, I mean, I heard on I think it was on the broadcast, like this could be the moment for him that kind of gets people going, but I don't really think about it like that. I kind of just go out there and do what I needed to do. Offensive rebounding is a huge emphasis for myself. I really take pride in that. So I just went to the basket and went for the ball, and we ended up being tied up. And then you guys saw the video, Monte ran from half court, and that's just the culture here. I mean, one guy does something for the team and another guy comes to help out. So just doing stuff like that is a victory within itself. And it just makes me feel like I'm doing something right.
Thanks.
Yep.
Hey, Luke, if I could get one more on the court, how do you feel like you're progressing? I mean, I know we talked before the season of how big of a jump, obviously, it is from high school to the Big Ten.
Yeah, I feel like on the court, one of the biggest things that I've gotten better at from high school is my defense. I feel like in high school, I mean, I was always the tallest guy on my team, and I would sometimes have to play the post and not guard my position, stuff like that. And coming into Illinois, I knew that coach really emphasizes defense. So really focusing on getting better and improving in that area during the season, and the off season was a huge thing for me. So in terms of on the court, I would definitely say that. And then just the knowledge of the game overall. I mean, the situations are so much more important in college basketball. You got shot clock, you got possessions, all the stuff like that. So taking that into account and just also just I'm trying to improve my defense every day. I'd say those are the biggest things.
Thanks, Luke. Appreciate it.
Is that everything for Luke?
Good.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Luke.